What if I told you that the oil recommended in your owner's manual could be the reason your engine dies early? Same car, same engine, same driver, but 3 different oils, 0W-20, 5W-30, and 5W-40, led to completely different engine wear patterns. And here's the shocking part. The oil most manufacturers recommend did not win. In fact, one oil ran hotter, broke down faster, and showed higher wear metals even though it's approved. Today, I'm not sharing opinions. I'm showing real engine data, oil analysis, temperature logs, wear results, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which oil protects your engine best and which one quietly sacrifices it for fuel economy. Stay until the end because the winner surprised even experienced mechanics. Section 1. Why this test matters more than you think. Every oil debate eventually turns into noise. Thinner oil is better. No, thicker oil protects more. Just follow the manual. Here's the truth most drivers never hear. The owner's manual is optimized for regulations. It's designed to satisfy fuel economy testing, emission certification, fleet-wide MPG targets. It is not optimized for high heat, high mileage, long-term wear. That's why the same engines use 0W-20 in the US, but 5W-30 or 5W-40 abroad. Same metal, different priorities. So instead of arguing, we tested it. Section 2. The engine and test setup. No tricks, no bias. To keep this fair, we removed every variable possible. We used a modern naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, tight factory tolerances, direct injection, no tuning and no modifications. Same driver, driving style, fuel, oil filters, oil change intervals. Only one thing changed. Oil viscosity. Test phases. Phase 1, 0W-20 full synthetic. Phase 2, 5W-30 full synthetic. Phase 3, 5W-40 full synthetic. Each oil ran 7,500 miles with used oil analysis, temperature monitoring, internal inspection. No marketing claims, just data. Section 3. What actually changes when oil gets thicker? Before revealing results, you need to understand this. Oil viscosity is a trade-off, not a ranking. 0W-20, ultra-thin at operating temperature, reduces internal friction, improves fuel economy by 0.5 or some 1 mile per gallon, but thinner oil film, smaller safety margin under heat. 5W-30, balanced viscosity, stronger oil film at high temperature. Historically, the durability sweet spot. 5W-40, thickest at operating temperature, highest shear stability. Designed for heat, load, and stress. Each oil gives you something. Each oil takes something away. The real question is, which trade-off actually protects the engine best in the real world? Section 4. Phase 1 results. 0W-20, the manufacturer favorite. Let's start with what most people are using. 0W-20. What it did well. Fast cold start lubrication, lowest internal friction, best fuel economy, at 0.7 miles per gallon. On paper, it looks perfect. But inside the engine, the story changed. What the data showed. Oil temperature ran 8 to 12 degrees hotter. Viscosity loss of 13% by 7,500 miles. Increased iron and aluminum wear metals. Not catastrophic, but clearly higher wear. Internal inspection showed early oil darkening, light varnish buildup, thinner residual oil film after shutdown. Mechanic note, 0W-20 works, but it works harder. There's less room for error. Section 5. The hidden problem with 0W-20. Here's the issue nobody talks about. 0W-20 has the smallest safety margin. That means it's more sensitive to heat, shears faster under load, breaks down quicker in real traffic. In stop-and-go driving, long highway runs, hot climates, the oil film weakens sooner. This doesn't kill engines fast. It kills them slowly. And that's the most dangerous kind of damage. Section 6. Why this still matters before Phase 2. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, so 0W-20 isn't perfect, but manufacturers wouldn't recommend it if it were bad, right? That's where things get interesting because when we switched oils, nothing else changed. The engine behavior changed immediately. And in Phase 2, The wear numbers shocked us. We'll break down why oil temperature suddenly dropped, why wear metals fell by nearly half, and why mechanics quietly prefer this oil. Next, Phase 2. 5W-30, the silent middle ground. Section 7, Phase 2 results. 5W-30, the silent middle ground. Now we switch to 5W-30. Same engine, same driver, same route, same oil change interval. Only the oil changed, and the difference showed up almost immediately. What changed? Average oil temperature dropped 6 to 9 degrees. Viscosity loss was under 5%. Wear metals dropped 35 to 40% across the board. That's not opinion. That's lab data. Internally, the engine told the same story. Bearings looked cleaner. Cam lobes retained a stronger oil film. Less varnish after shutdown. Fuel economy? Yes, it dropped, but only 0.3 miles per gallon compared to 0W-20. That's pennies per tank. Section 8. Why mechanics quietly prefer 5W-30. When we talked to long-time technicians, not YouTube personalities, but real shop veterans, the answer was consistent. One master tech put it simply: I don't chase the thinnest oil, I chase stability. 5W-30 gave them better thermal control, better shear resistance, better long-term wear balance. It didn't try to win fuel economy tests. It tried to protect metal. That's why you'll often hear mechanics say, if you want an engine to last, don't go thinner than you need. Section 9. Phase 3 results. 5W-40, the heavyweight. Now, we move to the oil many people assume is unbeatable. 5W-40. On paper, it looks perfect. Thick oil film, high temperature stability, excellent resistance to shear, and under certain conditions, it delivered. What impressed us? Oil temperatures dropped another 3 to 5 degrees. Viscosity loss was almost non-existent, under 2%. Where metals were extremely low, especially iron and copper. Under long highway pulls, high RPM operation, steep grades, 5W-40 was rock solid. But then we noticed something important. Section 10. Where 5W-40 starts working against you. Protection isn't just about thickness. It's about flow. Here's what showed up in the data. Slightly slower oil circulation at cold start, higher pumping resistance during short trips, marginal increase in fuel dilution retention in engines driven mostly short distances. Cold starts, light throttle, the extra viscosity didn't add protection. It added drag. One mechanic summed it up perfectly. 5W-40 is amazing when the engine is working hard, but if your commute is 10 minutes, you're not using its strength. In other words, 5W-40 is a specialist, not an all-rounder. Section 11. Side-by-side comparison. Real results. After identical use, here's how the oils stacked up. 0W-20, best fuel economy, highest wear metals, fastest viscosity breakdown. 5W-30, near optimal oil temperature, lowest overall wear balance, best everyday protection. 5W-40, best extreme heat stability, excellent wear control under load, overkill for light-duty driving. And this is where the conclusion became impossible to ignore. Section 12. The clear winner and why it was unexpected. If this were a track car test, 5W-40 might win. An emissions test, 0W-20 would win. But for real drivers, real traffic, real heat, real mileage, 5W-30 delivered the best overall engine protection. Not the thinnest. Not the thickest. The most balanced. That's why it surprised people. Section 13. Why 5W-30 won in the real world. Here's why 5W-30 came out on top. Strong oil film without excessive drag. Stable viscosity across wide temperatures. Excellent wear control. Minimal fuel economy penalty. Cleaner internals over time. It protected better than 0W-20. It flowed better than 5W-40. It didn't try to game regulations. It tried to protect metal. Section 14. What manufacturers don't advertise. Here's a quiet truth. Many engines designed for 0W-20 were originally validated with 5W-30. The shift to thinner oil happened because of fuel economy mandates, emissions targets, regulatory pressure, not because engines stopped needing protection. That's why the same engines use 0W-20 in the US, but use 5W-30 or 5W-40 abroad. Different rules. Same engine. Section 15. So, what oil should you use? Here's the practical breakdown. No hype. Use 0W-20 if you live in cold climates. Drive short trips. Prioritize MPG. Change oil frequently. Use 5W-30 if you want maximum engine life. Drive mixed city and highway. Live in moderate to hot climates. Plan to keep the car long-term. Use 5W-40 if you tow or drive aggressively. Live in extreme heat. Have a turbocharged or high-load engine. This isn't about right or wrong. It's about matching oil to reality. Section 16. The one mistake that ruins everything. Before you change oils, there's one mistake that destroys engines. Even when the oil choice is correct, mixing driving habits with the wrong drain interval. Here's what happens. Drivers switch from 0W-20 to 5W-30. Good move. But they keep following the 10,000 to 15,000 mile interval from the manual. Bad move. That interval exists to lower ownership cost on paper, improve emissions ratings, reduce dealer service visits during warranty. It is not optimized for engine longevity. Even the best oil fails when left too long. Rule mechanics follow. 0W-20, 4,000 or 5,000 miles. 5W-30, 5,000 to 7,500 miles. 5W-40, 4,000 to 6,000 miles, especially turbos. Section 17. How to switch oil safely. No damage, no myths. Let's kill a big fear right now. Myth: switching oil viscosity damages the engine. Truth: engines don't care about labels. They care about film strength and flow. Here's how to switch safely. Drain the old oil completely. Use a quality filter. OEM, Wix, MAN, Mobil 1. Fill with the new oil. Drive gently for the first 15 minutes. That's it. No flush, no additives, no nonsense. Modern engines are designed to tolerate multiple viscosities, which is why many manuals list alternatives in fine print. Section 18. What your engine will tell you after switching. Drivers who move from 0W-20 to 5W-30 often report quieter cold starts, less ticking or rattle, lower oil consumption, smoother idle, better throttle response. That's not placebo. That's stronger oil film and better damping. If your engine suddenly feels calmer, it's because metal parts are no longer fighting each other. The final verdict. After real testing. 0W-20, efficient but fragile. 5W-40, powerful but situational. 5W-30, the best balance for real life. That's why it won. Not because it's exciting. Because it works. Final takeaway. Your engine doesn't care about marketing, MPG stickers, dealer talking points. It cares about oil film, heat control, stability over time. Choose oil for how you actually drive, not what looks good on paper. Now, I want to hear from you. What oil are you running right now? And why did you choose it? Have you ever switched viscosity and noticed a difference? Drop it in the comments. Your answer might save someone else's engine.